Hello everyone, and welcome to the 7th Technology Transfer webinar. Today's topic is about cooperation between banks and universities in terms of supporting technological innovations. Before we kick off with today's presentation by our expert, Ms. Barbara De Rossi, I would like to give the floor to Luca Escoffier, a project manager of the U-Japan Technology Transfer Help Desk. So over to you, Luca.
Thank you, Eva, and good evening, good night for all those that are in Japan and patient enough to be online at 11:30 p.m. and good afternoon for all those that are in Europe, and good morning for the speaker that is talking to us today from the West Coast in the US. As Eva suggested, mentioned actually, this is the 7th webinar from the inception of the help desk. I'd like just to spend a couple of words at the help desk itself to let you know that this is a service that is run and managed by the U-Japan Center for Industrial Cooperation. I'm based in Tokyo, and what we are trying to do with the help desk is to basically help SMEs from Europe and Japan to be in touch with research institutions and universities to facilitate technology transfer, creating a database of licensable technologies that everyone can have access to, actually, because it's a free website without any protection password, so everyone can have the chance and look at the resources that we have. And we're also trying to organize events like this one, like the webinar tonight, and seminars, physical seminars, especially in Tokyo, and podcasts that also you can check and listen to from our website. So this is a great opportunity to create a community online, a virtual community of people that are interested in innovation in a broader sense, not just to technology transfer in a very strict sense related just to licensing of technologies. As you can see here from the slide in front of you, you have my email. So if you're interested in sending me an email, just please do so. You also have a link to the website of the help desk. And the third one is a survey for SMEs from Europe. So if you belong to an SME in Europe, or you know someone that is working for an SME in Europe, please do share the link that you see, and I would really love to hear from you, or for those that you know that belong to an SME. And please also, the last hyperlink that you see in the slide is related to the newsletter. So if you click on that, you'll be redirected to the registration page of the newsletter. So I would also love to have more and more people registered to our newsletter. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Barbara De Rossi, a friend, a professional, and just would like to spend a couple of words to give you an introduction. She's currently representing the CIO of Intesa Sao Paulo, the largest corporate investment bank in Italy, and she's based in New York. And when she joined the group back in 2010, she's been qualitative scenario planner for the innovation team, and she's been also an external and freelance consultant for Livestock Gentech in Canada, a group that addresses the need of feeding the world by 2050 through genomic revolution in the agri-food sector. She holds a Master of Science in Environmental Sociology from the University of Alberta, and with her previous degree in political science, she contributed to several geopolitical and geoeconomics publications and projects on democracy and democratization processes around the world. Always interested in contributing to drive the next generational change, she is also part of RENA, a network to spur excellence and to create some social capital in her native country, which is also my country, Italy. So without further ado, welcome, Barbara. Good morning. And the floor is yours.
Good morning. Well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Good afternoon, good evening to everybody, because I think I'm the only one in the morning.
I'd like to really thank for this great opportunity to, through a webinar, and as Luca was saying, to this virtual community, to introduce the topics that somehow I've been observing along my experience in different fields. When we've been discussing with Luca how to think around the topic for this webinar, we thought that why don't stress the focus where I believe university and banks still implement nowadays an old paradigm of doing business. University create new ideas, of course, that although strive to take off as businesses due to lack of understanding of the investor needs and market rules. On the other side, banks are struggling to cope with all the tax disruption that's happening out there all around the bank itself and also around bank corporate clients, for example, or retail clients, the whole ecosystem of the clients. So, of course, more resilience is needed in both systems and to build a very long and sustainable business, and it's important to bridge this gap as much as possible. So it's important to open a more, fruitful and comprehensive dialogue to bring strategically closer these two entities, but within, of course, an ecosystem, with industry actors and within the innovation ecosystem. So this is a little bit why, what I'll be covering. I'll try to cover today, particularly, with the focus of what I'm doing right now. I would like to show you briefly, who we are as a group. As Luca mentioned, this is the largest corporate investment banking in Italy. Those are our numbers. So we have 19.3 million clients, of which 11.1 are in Italy, and 8.2 abroad. This is a map of our group internationally, as our presence in Europe and abroad. So as you can see, we have 4 rep offices at 1,124 branches in Europe, but the part I'm taking more in here is like the US, where I am. So that we have 3 branches and 2 rep offices. Particularly, I am part of the New York hub, so that's we really have a real hub for the whole Americas. And of course, then we have an extension in Asia, in Africa, in Oceania. But this is the whole group as a whole. As Luca mentioned previously, I started in Intesa as a job, distilling and mapping qualitative trends and megatrends. And this is really started years ago, but now it became, of course, with the creation of the Center for Innovation, it became way more, we scale up the system and we make it more systematic. And this is a chart that includes the main innovation trend that we are considering. And this is the one of the technology that we consider. Really still, the core of the presentation problem, but it was just showing, as a bank, the kind of effort that we're doing in really tackling and distilling, from one side, what are the trends that are disrupting, the world out there, and particularly our clients, and what are the technologies, right? And this is important for us to know this, and how to build, a more sustainable business and also business opportunities, but means also to really create a value and how we can move ourselves to create value. In this case, we're also between academia, research, and business. So to this let's say, after the discussion, about really our ecosystem, so you can right away to the Center for Innovation and think of internal corporate investment banking, governance, insurance, digital looks like the different business units, the innovation center, the innovation system. So it's deployed, centralizing deploying along the business unit, and the green part and the blue part that you see outside is exactly the work out there. So this is the way we ourselves. Among these, this innovation, we have a global innovation metric. This is the way we wanted, the way we started to tackle this entire ecosystem beyond the reach of the real innovation center that is located in Turin. It's developing this global innovation network, and in particular, we figure as me, the other part of the international innovation team. So here you see a lot of dots that I primarily, I'm part of the New York hub, as I said. We have another person in London, another person in Tel Aviv. The person in London is taking care more of the European part, and also, we have a connection in Singapore. The other dots that you will see, and I will talk to you later about that, it's a different level of expansion we do, maybe a little bit more operative, and this is, I know that it's something that I would like to discuss about. It is more about the innovation specialist. So, but we try to map the natural has we try to build and to bring the effort very outside our innovation. Exactly. So what we currently do in USA. So what I do. So the way we started there is because we have a branch and we want to take the occasion to have a physical place and try to get connected. As being a commercial bank, particularly abroad, we are not, in Italy we have the whole group from retail to corporate investment banking, while in now we are commercial. So we want to have a person that is really, fill the gap and get in touch with this innovation ecosystem. That means, partner with accelerator, incubator, VC, research center, single startup, institution, all sorts of actors. They are not the usual actors where the bank relates to. So particularly, at the beginning I had to focus a little bit more on fintech, but let's say that now the approach is a little bit wider because we're trying to build a more corporate development arm. So the focus is more about technologies across industries. And this is to feed a process that we're trying to implement, more centralized in Italy to do this matchmaking, because it's in Italy where we have our main clients. We call it matchmaking approach, where we can match technologies and bring them directly in touch with our corporate client portfolio. And then I mentioned here that we can capitalize opportunities around circular economy approach, and I would like to spend some words on it because I think it's a good format. Okay, so absolutely. So I will try to. I hope so far is okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading also briefly. The message is here that there is still some trouble with the line. So tell me if it so far is all. It's still a little bit, general, but like tell me if it so far is clear, or would like me to repeat something. We can keep it like this, and then we do the whole question at the end. But if there is something that I need to stress right now, I can repeat and I talk a little bit slower. Go ahead. Anyway, I mean, we said that more or less, I explained what is, the focus of what belongs to me in US, representing the Center Innovation. As I said, I would like to mention our involvement and partnership into the circular economy approach and movement. I'm not sure if it's everybody's aware about this. It's an approach that is opposite of the linear economy, and it's all about resiliency and as I said, it's contrasting model to the linear economy. I mean, if anybody's interested, particularly, I would like, the slide that will be available. So if everybody is particular interest on this topic, like I can go a little bit more deep, offline probably, because I don't want to spend too much time. But I wanted to show you the way the bank is trying to be more comprehensive and tackle approaches that you usually won't expect from a bank. You think it's a credit institution and commercial. So Intesa Sanpaolo has been growing involved in fostering, innovation and social inclusion and, of course, sustainability. And as recently, as I was mentioning, right, becoming global partner of the Ellen MacArthur Foundation that is located in London. You know, right now, like the main partnership we have, they are more, they started from London because, like, you know, it's the hub that we feel closer. And we have a different, you know, approach in U.S. This you know, partnership is to help to make institutions, public opinion, and business partner more aware of the concept of circular economy. And we are the only global partner of this in terms of financial global partner. So as you can see, I listed here some, you know, some topics that are interesting, you know, about the circular economy concept. But the whole you know, really center core of the approach is that it's very important to, you know, rethink and redesign the way we make stuff. And now through a change in perspective, we can redesign the way our economy works, right? So this is ideas that came even earlier. I don't know if anybody was aware when it came out. The very important article on our business review back in time, 2010, and it was about Porter and Kramer that talked about reinventing capitalism, you know, and creating shared value. And this circular economy is going along those lines. So. The idea is like the redesigning products that, you know, can be made to be made again. So that's why it's circular and it's non-linear, right? In the moment you really think to design a product, and the whole research that is behind it on the material, for example, you have to rethink already how this product is going to end its first application and how it can be used after that. So it's not a very, you know, too cool recycling thing. So it's a little bit deeper. And this is like is really the concept of circular design. And I would like to mention that on this topic we just launched a Banca Intesa Award for exactly innovation and circular economy, together with the ISNAF, that is Italian Scientist and Scholar in North American Foundation, where, for example, we are. This will be for next year, and we will, you know, give an award about spring. It still has to fix, actually, but so we would like to, you know, pick the brain of those scientists that have, you know, interesting idea that can fit with those criteria, you know, and the one listed here: circular supplies, resource recovery, product life extension, sharing platform, product as a service, you know. So on any of this, you know, I'll be happy also to, if you need, you know, more information, I can put you in touch. And this is something that we run a lot in the U.S. as well, because it's very popular, particularly in the U.S. So without spending more time on this, and I will be happy to share more information if needed. But talking about the topic I would like to tackle today, we said that we analyze the ecosystem in, you know, our center innovation is, and now how about the university research ecosystem and what are in the technology transfer, what could be the added value of our bank, our group, in this case the Innovation Center, could really bring. So what I identified, it's you know, it's a couple of gaps to fill in my opinion. So I'm very happy this is an open discussion to you know, understand if is also from the research point of view they feel this gap as well. You know, what is that perspective? So like as an observer, I think that sometimes, you know, from the research point of view, there might be a difficulty in assessing. Let's think in the European definition, right? In the assessing, you know, the incremental breakthrough and foundational level of an idea, for example. So incremental, you know, when you improve something that is already exists. The breakthrough is when a new product in a market that already exists, and the foundational, it's when there is no the market for the idea. Let's think when for example, the nanotechnology is being born. So this sometimes, this confusion, like on the levels that, market-wise is very important, can bring, sometimes scientists to have an over-evaluation of results, right, on something that is new, of course, but something that is really innovative. And this can lead, and a whole misconception on, I have an idea, I patent, but, the whole path to getting that idea and making a company, a startup, and that the startup, have a success is not such a linear and easy path, correct? So I think everybody's agreeing on this. So I'm saying something common, but it's important to stress. And thinking on the other piece that also the university is doing, the technology transfer, what has been my experience is that the technology transfer, particularly more, I'm talking about the experience, the brief experience I have in Europe. I have to say that in the US, it works a little bit different. But, they are in hybrid, they have an hybrid task with, of course, not enough resources because the resources are not always not enough, but also in terms of skills. Because I believe, that they miss a certain tech expertise. And so this brings it to not a really deep analysis, market analysis, or that can help, the relationship whenever you bring the idea in touch with an investor. And the other part is because maybe, there is this lack of training or skill of the people being part of this, is that they're maybe not so proactive in exploit tech opportunities in the market. What does it mean? Because as I showed you before, like it's a certain specialist job when you are always on top of trends and industry. This world is very fluid right now, right? So there is not so much silos and things are very much across industries. So you have to be an idea. There is always a time to market of an idea, but sometimes, the time to market can be shorter if you really see that an idea or a product, if you find maybe, how can I say, like, say also a new sector or intersectional sectors between industry where that idea can be start to fit, right? And this is, I think, is the competitive advantage that anybody from the business side and maybe also technology transfer, right, that could give us a support to researchers, because the job of researcher is really being good scientists in what they do, right, and being very vertical on that. And the other thing is, like, maybe they don't have so much, opportunities to stress those aspects because they're also overloaded with bureaucracy. So sometimes they ended up to fit the ideas, the patents into what I call, pre-existing conceptual boxes and categories. This happened to everybody. But, it's sometimes when you put a label on something and then it's there. So, and the other thing is that what they offer is that mainly they connect with credit institution, and this is, for example, okay, it's a bank, but I'm trying to stress here and to show what a bank can be more than a credit institution, because I think literature already said that even in these different bubbles that we had with startups, it's not just money, right? Money has been a lot. There is a flow of money, but it's not just money that really help startups to create markets and be successful. It's a very important component, but all the rest is very important too. So again, so I don't want to spend so much. I think everybody understood this. I believe they needed a format or kind of research that helped them to be more agile and think a little bit more out of the box. So what at this point, what I think, so I didn't stress, let's say this lack among the two parts, academia from one side and technology transfer. So we have to acknowledge that out there, there is, let's call it trend at this point, but there is the path towards business must be shortened, because with the whole Moore's law, the big data, the tech change at a very rapid pace. The data viability is way wider, right? And so the same life product cycle is shorter. So when this cycle is shorter, it's important that the business as well, the cyclist business, is gonna take the same pace. So speed up, you need to increase and be short again. So this means that businesses, they need to upstream, go upstream in the value chain. This is where they need to bridge and get closer to the science part, to connect, to the research agenda as well. And this is how I believe that and a player like international, a big player as a bank that has a whole portfolio of clients, it can really give a distinctive and help in this concept of trying to shorten the path business. So the way I tackle here the idea is that when I also been talking with some clients, so I see it's just a model that a lot of university and industry that builds in terms of types of collaboration, right? As I said, I stressed it already. So I believe that innovation and business can really transform this distance that there is to collapse to zero and to arrive to a more operational level. The way I think has been at this moment, there are three ways: the industrial doctorate format, the consortium style, and the collaboration on curriculum. So what I say for it. So the industrial doctorate it's an enhanced training program, foster complementary skill that means particular business-oriented skill. For example, talking about Europe, within the Marie Curie action program, within the Horizon 2020, there is the industrial doctorate format. But usually, this is like, it's how it happened, this industrial doctorate. It usually drives through personal connection with the professor, with the industry, and this is works for sure. But we should, scale up this model and make it more systematic. And I believe that here the bank can be a really added value because, of course, when you have a player as a bank that has, a company portfolio that it can bring into the discussion, this can amplify the effect of being a liaison among those actors. So tell me if I'm clear on this, but I think it's important because really this is like the part where I believe you can pick into the excellence of students, into a really individual expertise, and bring it right away in connection with what is the need, of companies and clients, and so you can be really market shaper as well. The other way of creating this, that is like probably less, less specific as the one, but it's still like, in certain areas, creating a consortium. So it usually is a little bit bigger, right? So where you have university, industry, government. And this example, there we are creating in Italy in the Human Technopole, reusing the facility of the Expo area, where, for example, it will see 300 researchers working on healthcare together with IBM Watson. So this is just an example, but I mean, everybody I think knows the consortium style. Like even when I was working before as a consultant for the agri-food genomic piece, that was a consortium in Canada between industry, research, and government. So this style is like, replicated, and you can find many. The third one is something that I actually added because I think we don't do enough with our group, but this is important because I heard a lot from certain clients. It's the collaboration, specific collaboration on really curricula. What I believe is that what I heard also is that there is a lack in certain fields of really new topic working level class. So people that, when they've been trained in their curricula and creating a new working class with new topic. And this is something that has to be in touch. It's about also the research agenda, but also the curricular agenda has to be in touch within the. What we do particularly is we have an MBA program with Santana. This has been, I don't remember when it was created, but already when I entered within the group, there were people that then we had a very, very open connection with the Santana on this. But this is something that, and I think is important because it could bring directly to a market a new working class level. We've been talking about, the world outside, the trends, the challenges, the gap to fill. So what we've built so far. So the model we have built and we're trying to, we are putting in place, if this is like showing here, is our innovation ecosystem that's trying to show to this path towards business. So you have the center, innovation at the center. And the observatory, for example. Observatory is the one that distills the whole trend analysis idea and startup evaluation and really search new business opportunities. So this is, for example, being very practical. This is like a big database where everybody from the different international network or the specialists that I mentioned before, and maybe I will talk a little bit later, a little bit more, collect startups like independently from any industries. They're going to be categorized, and then they will push to the business unit in the moment or along the project that we have running at the moment. Then we have a specific profile of people that do the matchmaking between the demand and the innovation offer. Because through the observatory, so when we have all those startups categorized, we kind of create a tech marketplace, right? So what we're trying to get is a platform, really. So we're trying to do this matchmaking between tech and enterprises. Then, of course, we build partnership. I mentioned before London, so we have a partnership with Center Innovation Lab, FinTech Innovation Lab. So we have different partnerships in Italy, the incubators. We have, I told you before the partnership with this. Now we have a different level of partnership. Like we just did partnership specific, for example, on crypto. So it's different level, but like the partnership piece is for sure the main where we go at work. And the acceleration piece, I wouldn't say that we have a real accelerator, with a brand being an accelerator, but for sure we have profiles that help, taking the whole information that, you see around the circle to promote new business opportunities. Exactly as I told you, trying to bring in that gap. And the same thing in terms of the advisory piece. It's something that has been trying that we try to build into the corporate development side of the business. So we thought like, okay, so as being a credit institute, so usually with partner, we are the bank for the clients. That means, giving credit, and so we have a financial partner. But nowadays, this is not enough. So out there, the rhythm is really changing fast pace. So we need to be also, more industrial partners. So to really help them and to bring interesting opportunities. I mean, of course, there is a lot of maybe global partners, global businesses that have, very good R&D inside. But let's think of the strength that usually Italy has. We have a lot of middle or little enterprises that maybe they don't have the time and capacity and people to do all that job. So we want to be able to offer this to our client, to them at some point, coming back again, probably as a financial partner too, but particularly industrial. So the marketplace is what I said before, and of course, then there is a level of internal innovation culture, internal or external, and this comes doing several events and trying to spread the voice around. talking about, I already mentioned, but talking about like some operative aspects that probably there are more operative than the one I'm listing here, but this is I'm trying to stress. What we're trying to differentiate as a group is not only to give financial resources to a venture capital. Now we have also corporate venture, or as simple as in credit. But like we're really trying to build, and we are. I don't think we are like completely there yet, because it's a whole process. But to give a service. So as I said, if a startup comes from a technology transfer, or comes from comes to me as well, it's still my position sometimes is random. I get different stuff, and we can help them to create a business plan. We have internal projects where we can fit them, having a specific feasibility study. And on the other side, filling the gap that I was mentioning, the technology transfer, we can, orient the technology transfer toward our nectar on investors. So that it's not anymore only having a technology transfer that has usually in touch with credit institution. It's like in this case, we'll be in touch with a credit institution that is able to, open up also a different way to get funds and investors. Because something, and this is also cultural, sometimes we also, as a Center of Innovation, would struggle with our own business units because they have their own categories, they have their own boxes where, a certain, from credit, standpoint, a certain enterprise, particularly startup, they don't even fit, so they cannot be considered. So then what? We should completely lose all that work? So no, we're trying to do differently. And as I mentioned, there is this level of innovation specialists that is around 10 people that are widespread, more into the regional local branches actually. We have an innovation hunter, like in the map I show you a little bit internationally, but let's say that now we really tackle the Italy piece. There are people that exactly the wide specialists, because there are already they know about startups and how to fit credit to help really executing the financial and the strategy. So just to repeat, because really I'm handing now. What I think, I hope I stress enough that we're trying to position ourselves not only as a credit institute, but really to revitalize also our economic ecosystem in Italy, particularly having all this opportunity with corporate clients that have a lot of problems and not a need. And nowadays we can have on the other side a lot of tax that we can we put on the platform and we can match them. So although everything is not perfect yet, there is a cultural gap. There is a cultural gap also in our group, of course. So the ideal piece would be to really have a more, let's say, osmotic, a more dynamic community where the technology offices can get more in touch with us. And what I said before, the industrial doctorate, the consortium, the curriculum, the research agenda, where we are the liaison, where we can bring our corporate clients. We can be that bridge, for the gap. And with investor communities is a whole different level that is not all in credit. Because credit has different rules. Credit sometimes, it doesn't work like this. So I hope I've been exhaustive till now, and totally open to questions and to whatever you think I've been missing.
Yes, and if I may, in between now and then, when the questions will be written, I would like to thank you once again, Barbara, for the presentation. Even though we had some problems with the volume, but I think that pretty much.
Well, I really hope that at least in the end you heard me. I don't know. I tried to breathe.
Yes,
close.
we did. Oh, we did. Maybe I can start breaking the ice. I have a question for you. So, we all know here today that I'm here for the help desk. So what I'm trying to do is effectively create, let's say, relationships and facilitate the communication between the stakeholders in a tech transfer operation. So in my case, for example, would I be able to get in touch with the bank if there is an idea that might be deployed by the bank, or an idea that the bank might be interested in because it's one of the fields in which one of the funds is interested in investing? And if so, is that true for me as for also individual inventors? How can a person from a practical standpoint get in touch with all the resources that you mentioned to potentially leverage something that is existing and potentially profitable?
Okay. Yes. Of course, it's like directly the Innovation Center, particularly I would say the observatory facility. That is the one, the collector of all ideas and stages. They do the analysis. Actually, they're pretty good in that. Even the market analysis they do. Those are the ones that they will catch the startup. Myself too. When I get something, I pass to them, and they will analyze, categorize, put the level, and then, get ready to the machine to then execute it in the moment, it's needed. Of course, then it always needs to match our needs with the needs of our clients in that moment. So for sure, I would suggest to contact the observatory. I can also, leave my personal contact. I can write here my email. And so they can also contact me, because I have a lot of my network been doing other stuff usually. So, my network is wide. So I also, this is my email, I also receive like startups from Europe, and then depends is also what is their stage or what they need. If they need to develop, for example, more in US, yes, of course, I could follow them, more specifically. But if there's a different, idea, maybe more fintech related, or just they want to just have a connection in Europe, then I will pass to either like my other person in London, or directly to the observatory, and then from there they have a whole process. So I think those are the two entry points. I would say those, and it really depends, when on the project.
Excellent. So if you agree,
mentioning also from the financial part, because probably maybe you think also the venture. Like for example, we don't do venture in US.
got it. So if you agree, when we do edit the videos of the webinar, the right hand side is actually taken out, so people that will be able to see and watch the webinar from YouTube or from our website will not see your address. So if it's okay with you, anyway, we will have a short bio of yourself together with the email, so that people that were not able to make it today will be able to to reach you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I put the email already in chat, so the people already here that can take a note of it. But no, absolutely, yes. I can be that person. But
Perfect. Excellent.
If they are like, have a look at the observatory, and that also it's the one where I probably will also refer you. But let's try this way, yeah.
Okay, excellent. I can see that today people are a little bit shy. And you have been also very exhaustive in the explanation, so it seems that no one has a question.
Yeah, I see that there are no further questions. I guess we could conclude today's webinar, and perhaps if participants have any questions, they can always send me an email. I can pass it on to you and Barbara, to you, Luca, and Barbara, and of course they can email Barbara.
Yeah,
directly.
yes, excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eva, for the your time and your help as usual. Always great to be a team. As you can see, very international here today. Just to remind you, for those that were not present when we started, we're talking from Tokyo, Brussels, and the West Coast in the US. So it's a very international webinar. So thanks once again to Eva, to Barbara, the speaker. Now she has to run to a conference this morning. So thanks once again.
Okay. Fine. Thank you.
Thanks very much to you both. And
I'll be available by email then.
Sure. And thanks very much for all participants for attending today's session. And I hope to welcome you for the next technology transfer webinar, which will be on the 8th of November, if I'm correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.